The secret of the leopard's shadow. In a small village nestled near the edge of the great jungle, there lived a young boy named Tarek. He was known for his curiosity and courage, traits that often led him into trouble. The villagers spoke of many strange happenings in the jungle, but none as eerie as the legend of the leopard's shadow. It was said that a powerful leopard, with fur as dark as the night, roamed the jungle under the full moon. Its shadow would move without the leopard, silently creeping into homes, casting an unnatural chill. The villagers believed that whoever encountered the shadow would be cursed, forced to live with fear and dread forever. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the jungle grew dark and silent, Tariq's grandmother, Mama Zuri, sat by the fire and warned him, "Do not wander into the jungle at night, Tariq. There is a shadow there that is not of this world. It will find you, and you will never escape its gaze." But Tariq, eager to prove his bravery, could not resist. That very night, under the pale light of the full moon, he sneaked out of his hut and ventured into the jungle. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth, and the sounds of the jungle seemed muffled, as though holding their breath. As Tariq walked deeper into the jungle, the shadows stretched unnaturally long. His heart pounded with excitement, but soon, a cold feeling gripped his chest. The hairs on the back of his neck stood up, and he felt a presence, something watching him from the darkness. Suddenly, a leopard with glowing amber eyes appeared before him, its fur blending with the shadows around it. It stared at Tariq for what felt like an eternity. But the leopard did not move. It only watched, its gaze sharp and unblinking. Tariq felt a chill that seeped into his very bones. He remembered his grandmother's words. But before he could retreat, the ground beneath him seemed to shift. He turned, and there, creeping toward him, was a shadow, dark and cold, stretching across the jungle floor. The shadow was not attached to the leopard. It moved of its own will, slithering silently, as though alive. Tariq's heart raced. This was the shadow from the stories, the one that promised to curse anyone it touched. In a panic, Tariq began to run, his feet pounding the ground, but the shadow was faster. It stretched further and further, reaching for him, wrapping itself around his legs, pulling him back. The jungle seemed to close in on him, the trees twisting and warping as though the very earth was alive with malice. Then, just as the shadow began to engulf him, Tariq remembered the sacred stone his grandmother had given him, a smooth, glowing rock that she said could ward off evil. With trembling hands, he pulled it from his pocket and held it high. The shadow recoiled, hissing like a serpent in the night, and slowly, it retreated. The leopard's eyes glowed brighter, and for a brief moment, Tariq saw something in its gaze, an ancient sadness. The leopard let out a low growl before disappearing into the jungle, leaving Tariq standing alone in the moonlight, his chest heaving. Tariq made his way back to the village, his mind racing. He never spoke of the shadow or the leopard, but he knew something no one else did. The shadow was not a curse, but a test. It had shown him that true bravery did not lie in seeking danger, but in understanding it and knowing when to step back. From that day on, Tariq's heart was calmer, his steps more careful. He never wandered into the jungle at night again, and though he heard the whispers of the villagers, he knew that the leopard's shadow would always remain a secret between him and the jungle. The end. Please follow our page.